Barehanded Killer, how are you guys doing? Um, I was asked a question. This young lady was asking me how she should raise her children to be as tough as me, and the answer was a little bit more complicated than I think what she was looking for, but nonetheless. So I'm just gonna try to sum it up real quick. This is the answer I gave her. I said, "Do you want your children to be like a glass ornament, beautiful, colorful, stand there with grace and look pretty, and also very fragile, very sensitive, that with any kind of drama they will break into pieces? Or do you want your children to be a ninja sword? Ninja swords, especially Japanese ninja swords, are known to be the toughest steel, the sharpest swords in the world. To achieve that, the blacksmith beats that steel to hell with a hammer. I mean, imagine you being that steel, right? He keeps beating you and beating you. The minute you say, "Oh, it's over," he grabs it and just shoves it into the fire. So it burns and burns, and you are just burning in there. He picks it up, puts it back on his anvil, keep beating it again, beating until you get beat up so bad, you get burned from all your demons. There's no more emotion, there's no more uh, goodness left in you. All you can do is a be cold, hard, sharp sword made for one thing only, to battle. Now, these are the two options you got. I'm the sword. I'm the sword that cuts, that's hard. It can put up with a lot of things, but also in the process of getting like that, I lost a lot of things. I lost the feeling how to be human, what empathy is. I had to teach myself what empathy is after the age of 30, because I didn't learn it, because I got beat up by life so much. You don't want your child to be a sword, but you don't want your child to be a glass ornament. So you have to find the middle. Yes, you're going to beat them up until they're on the ground, but you're not going to help them up. They're going to have to learn to get up on their own. When I was raising my kids, when my son was born, we would go crazy when he starts crying. We jumped onto him every time he cried. And my best friend Danny, our sons have maybe 2 3 months in between, he would just let him cry. And I'm looking at like, "Danny, you're a heartless dick, bro. Why don't you go comfort your child?" And Danny looked at me and said, "If I keep doing that, how is he going to learn to self-soothe himself when I'm not there?" Right there, I learned a very valuable lesson, that what I was doing was wrong. That you can't try to soothe your child every time they're lonely or every time they fall, because you're not going to be there for forever. You can't be a helicopter parent, because trust me, you are not going to be there forever. So I'm in southern border, Paso del Norte, port of entry, El Paso, Texas, as a Customs and Border Protection officer. People are coming, and they do copy a lot of movies in Mexico, and of course people find it cheap, so they go buy them and bring it back, right? And because of the copyrights, intellectual rights, whatever, be confiscated. So this 16-year-old held a bunch of movies. I said, "Ma'am, you cannot bring those. I'm confiscating them." She looked at her father and she said, "Daddy, you're not gonna do anything." And of course, the father put her head down, and of course, it's the law, but he cannot tell that to the child. So that child is grown up to look for daddy at any time they feel like they're cornered. And all I'm telling this young lady is, what you have in possession is illegal, and I'm going to confiscate it, and it's not even going to be a consequence for it. But the father cannot teach him this. So among the things that you have to teach the children, not only be able to get up, but you have to teach them to solve their problems without running for help. You're not going to be there. I'm not going to be there. The teacher's not going to be there at all times. They're going to have to learn this decision making, and it takes time. It doesn't happen in a year or two. It takes time. So you're going to have to make them learn this process from the get-go, from very young age. I'm talking about 2 years of age. That's what you should start. You think, oh, my mind is 14 years old already. It's never too late. Because the fact that you want to make this change because you want your child to be better in life is good enough. Because you actually stop the negative. You're trying to move in the positive way. How much you can move, I can't tell. It all depends on you, how assertive you are, and how suggestible your child is, but it has to happen. So yeah, my strength, my mental toughness come from years of getting beat up by life, and this is one of the things I told my production crew when they said, you don't do this to prove anything to anybody. No, I don't go into any challenge to prove myself to anybody. I don't care what anybody thinks. They can just suck it. That's not the point at all. The reason why I do it, because I want to be a better man. I want to be a better survivalist. I want to be better than yesterday. The blend from yesterday should learn something throughout up until this moment, and should be a better blend than yesterday. And my producer Sarah looked at me and she said, "How are you going to be a better man?" And I said, when Seth came to my place and he was dehydrated and asked for water, I gave him water. He was very close to dying in there. He was in extreme trouble with dehydration and the heat, and I was just standing there feeling absolutely nothing. I said, nobody should stand on top of even their enemy, and feel nothing when somebody's dying in there. You should have some compassion for life. I should have some compassion in life. I should feel something for that person. Yeah, I gave him water. I gave him water because he gave me water. I was just paying the debt back. But I should feel something. And I told Sarah, my producer, I'm going to go home and I'm going to work on that, because that's going to make me a better person. It is not good, neither easy, to be an extreme left or extreme right. You have to find the medium in life, and this is why it's so difficult to be a parent, because it is super difficult. And I hope I gave you a little bit of a peace of mind that you will take some positive steps to find that medium. With that, you guys have a good one, and I'll see you later.